iyo Bruce cyangwa se Meddy afite igitaramo muri BK Arena yishyura $23 za venue cyangwa Mboye ikipe ari gukoresha y'abantu 50 buri umwe wese arwaye mu 500.
So igihe haje itegeko ijyanye n'ibintu na exploitation ya music cyangwa n'ibindi bihangano bitandukanye, niki kibuza media house kubyubahiriza? Anga ari ibintu byaba biri bishyashya cyane kuko mu bindi bihugu byose mu byinshi byo ku isi bagira iyo system ya revenue collection ijyanye n'ahantu abantu barimo gucuranga indirimbo zabo. So reka tuvuge niba turi muri Kigali Convention Center, ni venue nini cyane yakira ibihumbi n'ibihumbi ku munsi umwe, ubwo revenue collection yabo izaba iri hejuru uyigereranyije n'indi hotel ifite wenda ibyumbi 100 gusa. Ntabwo turi kubwira abahanzi ngo niba ushaka kugira career cyangwa kumenyekana hanze y'u Rwanda ni wowe ukeneye kugenda ukajya gushaka ayo mahirwe. Aya mahirwe yaje mu Rwanda. So
mujya mubimenya ko abahanzi iyo yakoze event ashobora kuba ahemba abantu benshi kuruta ministries nyinshi.
As Africans really celebrate the spirit of Pan-Africanism, to celebrate our music as Africans. That's why we are putting together a strong lineup of over 20 artists from over 10 countries coming here and spending some time, not only going on stage, but also visiting local spaces, local studios, collaborating, creating content. We've got training programs like master classes, teaching young people how to do certain things in the music industry. So access, I always say, I never understood why my uncle used to go to golf every Saturday. Everyone said he wastes a lot of money on golf. It's a very important sport. And he said, you have to go on the field because that's where the deals are made. Access, in my view, this is the golf field for the music industry. If you are not coming to Access, you are not going to meet the people. And I want to emphasize, it's a free event for all Africans. So all you have to do is to go and register because our seats are running out. And this is what we are saying to the industry here. Yesterday we were looking on the numbers and we already have over 600 people from outside Rwanda saying they want to come. Now we are hoping that the community of Rwandan artists will help us to prove a point that there is vibrance in Rwanda, that there is openness to do music business in Rwanda, so that we see more record companies coming out of Rwanda, we see young entrepreneurs connecting with other parts of Africa, and we really start to take advantage of the advantage that Rwanda has, which is like in my view, one of the best places one can be in Africa. Now we need to take advantage of that and add music to that and see our young artists going to other countries. There are so many festivals that are looking for African talent, and I'm always wondering why I never see a Rwandan artist on those stages. And the reality is because we are not connected enough. We have so much talent here, and Access, we want to prove a point in the next 5 years that we want to see these local artists touring across Africa. Yes. We want Rwanda to be sitting next to Tanzania, Kenya, South Africa, musically, culturally, because that is very important. And that's why we are here in Rwanda, and that's why we are so thankful to your office, and so thankful to our partners, Kiss FM, individuals who are seeing the vision and saying, I want to be there. I want to make sure my network is aware of Access. And I invite you, please, to see this vision. It is not a profit-making initiative. We are truly coming here to educate. And we can only educate ourselves if all of us participate. So I thank you so much, Murakoze, and please feel welcome to ask any questions.
Thank you indeed for these wonderful insights. It's great that you just kind of line up the last words of what the minister said about our industry and empowering the youth. And the Music in Africa Foundation coming here in Rwanda is just giving all the tools and all the people and all the networking opportunities to have a joint vision. We cannot talk about the music in Rwanda without talking to the veterans, to the players. This panel would not be complete without someone who has been on both on the stage and behind the scene, contributing significantly to the industry, Mr. Austin Luwano, also known as Uncle Austin. We would love to hear from your perspective on this event and its significance for the Rwandan music industry.
Murakoze cyane, Honorable Minister. To take us a little back, you'll excuse me, but I'm going to go a little back and take you through the history of our Rwandan industry, the music industry. When I was 15, I got onto radio. 15 years. It was all about my talent. It wasn't about the education. I went for my mass media when I've been on radio for 3 years. Way back in 2005 or 6, Miss Jojo used to listen to me on radio. The biggest first female artist when it comes to the urban music of the Rwandan industry. So she sent me her first song. I remember playing it on Flash FM the very first time. I remember artists like the KGBs and the Rafikis starting out. I was an artist because I started singing in the school choir when I was 8 or 9. But because I couldn't find producers in the country that did the kind of music I used to do, I was like, I would start by promoting other artists. So it's been 20 plus years. I'm not even 40 yet, but I have an experience of 20 plus years in the industry. Now, the reason why I mentioned that is, imagine if we had the exposure. Imagine if we had the chance of the connections that we're getting today. That's where I would actually like to thank the government, our minister. We thank you so much, because all of these things are happening now because of you. If we had the exposure, it means if we had the project and people like Access, it means the songs that we did 15 years ago, most of these guys know that we never even knew about digital platforms. We could do songs. I had like 10 songs that had over 1 million views on YouTube, but they were all uploaded by somebody else. It was it in Nyarwanda.com, but then Afrifa, something like that. Yeah. Now imagine if we had an idea of that then. Almost not just Uncle Austin, but all artists lost those songs. Actually, some don't even have any data of the music, copies of the music. But if we had access then, if we had the exposure then, I always mention it very many times that we do have a lot of talent in the country. Talented artists, talented producers, working with the minimum of equipment, the minimum of resources. But then we actually manage to export names out of the country. We do have the band, we have Bruce Melody, we have Medi, we have Charlie and Neil that have actually performed all over Africa. Now imagine if we had these platforms and the connections to align us with the Davidos. When Trace was happening in Rwanda, I asked them, and it's like, I would be happy if a Rwandan artist is in a category with Davido, not just the Rwandan category because we're hosting the event. We are not going together if we don't have access, if we do not have the partners. So the reason why I went a little back there was to show you how thankful we are that we are now here. And the artists are actually going to get a chance of getting the exposure, getting the connections, meeting the right people at the right time for their art to be exposed, to be put out there, so that in the next 5 years, we'll be having artists fighting for Grammy Awards. You know, tussling out on every single platform across Africa. Not only have Tanzania and Uganda or Nigeria going for the BET Awards. So with these kind of platforms, with the kind of exposure, I strongly believe that we will actually be there. And I would like to thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Austin, of the music scene over here. So when we talk about music, and when we talk about the music business, we also have the voice of the people who are doing it. So they can see the talent is here, the business is missing. This is what we try to do over here. The business can only thrive in an environment that is conducive to conduct business. So this is why I'm going to come back to you, Minister Sandrine. Minister, could you share your thought on how Access 2024 align with the government vision to empower youth and fostering the creative economy? When we talk about the creative economy, we're talking about all the system, all the laws, and all the policies that can be conducive for the talent to be able to make business.
Thank you. I believe many of these points actually were addressed by Eddie when he spoke about the business behind the music. So once again, for the government of Rwanda, and here let me take a moment to also acknowledge the Rwanda Convention Bureau, because if it wasn't for the Rwanda Convention Bureau, we wouldn't be as well sitting here talking about the different conferences we are now attracting to Rwanda, including Access. So it is definitely a concerted effort across government institutions to see the value in the different activities happening all around the continent and acknowledging the one that deserve to come to Rwanda, that our young people, our more established people in the creative economy can also have access to. So back to the policy part, it is also important to acknowledge that Rwanda has a strong IP, intellectual property law. The most recent version of it was actually updated as of this past July of this year, which means that we take very seriously the protection of IP for all of our artists. And this is important for us to say this because we believe that artists or authors in general are entitled to protecting the work that they put out there in the community. And here, if I make an appeal to the media, we also call on the media to help us protect the IP of our artists, meaning that there needs to be some kind of understanding that if you're going to be playing music on your platforms, you need to pay for those products that you're having access to. And of course, we have many examples from all around the continent, all around the world, that talks about how we can sustainably establish a revenue collection system to make sure that artists do not think that the only way for them to be played on radio if it's free, or to be played on TV, or to be played in a hotel, in conferences all around the country. So the legal framework to sustain the business of this music industry or the business of the creative economy is very important. That's the number one thing. The other element that I also want to highlight is in terms of this type of platforms that we are putting together, how do we make sure that we have the right stakeholders in it? Yes, we need the talent, we need the cultural managers to also be present and know how to negotiate contracts for the artists, meaning that we are also making an appeal to the cultural managers in our communities to treat the artists not just as a product or something that will make them become richer, but actually see our artists, our authors as able to move and shift conscience on the continent, to have actually an impact in the way people's mindset can be more positive, can be open to the rest of the world, and again, create the right type of partnership with different platforms or institutions so the artists can truly grow. And the other element that I wanted to highlight as well in terms of building the ecosystem of our creative economy is to make sure that we also have the backbone of it. And the backbone is made by, again, the media that understand that things should not be free. We're talking about lawyers who also take an interest in the laws behind the creative economy. And I believe right now in Rwanda, we could use more lawyers who are trained or who understand exactly how the creative economy needs to be protected so it can truly grow at the same level as any other industry in this country. I was talking about earlier the IP that recently passed in Rwanda in July. So this IP is actually part of a bigger body of laws that talk about the pharmaceutical industry, that talk to business people who come up with patents. So we really treat the creative economy as one major part of all these different industries that deserve to have intellectual property protected for the sustainability of our economy. I hope I answered your question.
No, you answered magnificently. But that brings us to the next question. I think that Eddie, you kind of cover it a little bit. But with the remark of Honorable Minister Sandrine, she mentioned that IP part, intellectual property, Access also has put a very big focus on making sure that they are aligned with the 21st century, the advancement of technology, and how things have shifted in the way we distribute music, the way we're collecting money. It has to do a lot with technology. So can you tell us a little bit more about what is going on behind the scene and the system and the type of companies are coming to Access in terms of distribution and technology and how all those things are merged together?
I want to announce that Access will be the first event of this kind that will be the copyright-friendly event. That's a big movement that's actually being pushed by our partners at CISAC. So CISAC is the federation of all organizations that collect monies and protect the music rights.
Maybe we can mention that Rwanda has its own CMO, called Rwandan Society of Authors, RSIU.
Yeah, so we are also working with all those people, but there is a very deliberate move by us to say we want to all local players to understand that music is not for free. And we also want to help those organizations that are collecting the royalties to also connect with the musicians so they understand the issues of the musicians. Then they also educate the musicians to understand what the role of a musician is. Because again, this is the challenge. In most cases, musicians also don't play their part. When you create a new song, when you create a product, that's why we say it's a business, there are certain things that you have to do, not only in Rwanda, you have to do also internationally to make sure that you're protecting your music. So we've got a whole list of sessions and master classes that artists can say, I want to be part of that, because I'm going to be told, how do you get an ISRC code? How do you put your music on Spotify? But it doesn't only end there. How do you collect from as far as South Africa? So what we have is each country has got what are known as collecting societies, and you just mentioned
Copyright Management Organization, CMO.
Right. So we are bringing to Rwanda about 10 of those, including the biggest in Africa, which is Samro, the South African one. Capasso from South Africa. We've got other international players. They're actually going to have a forum here where they're just discussing together with the local counterparts to say, how do we move forward? How do we learn from each other? So it's a very deliberate move for us as Access to say the time is now for music to really pay the artist. I studied music myself, and I did the first 3 years of my study. I lied to my parents that I was studying something else because there is this notion that music is not a serious career. And in class, my colleagues would laugh at me. But I say this with pride. Look at me now. I mean, I am so proud that we are showing that there is money in music. I mean, I come from South Africa where you've got young kids who are building houses for their families, who are buying cars. Music is finally at the level where people can see money from music. But it's not happening everywhere yet. And we have to be very open to that, because we are a continent that's developing. What we now need to do is to push each other, to learn from each other. And I think artists really need to start looking at how can I make more money? Because there is much more money that is not only in your country. You can meet other people that can open doors outside. There are companies looking for licensing music for film, for library music, for adverts and all those kind of things. And sometimes artists just think you have to make it to radio. So at Access, we are showing all these channels. We've got an exhibition program where we're going to have a lot of companies that are going just to be sharing, all this kind of important information. So that's just one part, and there's much more that we can share.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Copyright friendly. I just want to highlight that this is the second event this year that is copyright friendly. Actually, with the support of CISAC. We ensured that the Triennale de Kigali, which is organized in partnership with the city of Kigali, was copyright friendly because it covered so many different categories of art. We had to make sure, exactly. So it's very good to see that in 1 year we're able to secure 2 events that understand the importance of copyrights. Thank you for that.
But we were talking about those very important things. I'd like to have the word from Mr. Austin Luano as an artist. somebody who has experienced the evolution of the music industry in Rwanda, Eddie said, musician has to play their part. Please, can you elaborate on that, in the responsibilities and the work of the artist beyond creating beautiful music? What is it that you have understood in your longer years in the music industry about what an artist has to do to play their part?
I think one thing to start with, that we are actually starting together, but artists need to understand and to learn that it's not a one-man army to be an artist. Most of the times, all of us, we've been a one-man army. Thereby, all we know is that I go create, put it on radio, do a music video, put it on TV, and upload it on YouTube, put it on the digital platforms, and that's that. But an artist, for you to achieve, if you listen very well to Eddie, you understand that it's not just you. For you to make money out of music, for an artist to understand that I'm not going to only be making the music and then wait for performances for me to earn a living, means I'm going to create and now get a whole team. In your team, that's where you need a lawyer, you need people who understand these things technically, so that you can also get time to create more, not to be running after every single thing. Because you need to make money. And making money as an artist in Rwanda for now, we've only been waiting for performances. Which means you do not actually get more time to create more. But if you sit down and you know the digital platforms are making you money, after getting vast, as in well-versed lessons in the business side of the music industry, it helps you understand that your only job as an artist will be to create, and now your team will actually have to work for you and work with you to make sure that you are only not going to do a song, and now in 5 years, even if they're playing it somewhere, you do not even know. He mentioned something that is not only going to be about the intellectual property law in Rwanda, but then they will actually help you to understand that your song is playing in Brazil, so it will be monetized there. So with these lessons, we'll actually learn and understand to know who to work with and when to actually need somebody to work with. Not just to feel like we only want to be played on radio and that's it.
Thank you, Austin. Thank you for these words. Going from the music industry also is like, if you want to have a team and generate loyalty amongst your team so they can work for you, you need to understand that you need to have certain value that you can pay those people if you want them to do the good work. So there's a big responsibility as an artist to understand himself as an entrepreneur, as a MD, managing director. You are the product and you managing your team. Being associated and bringing a team all around you that doesn't carry you further, you need to be able to identify it because you are in charge. On those quiet words, thank you for the panel, for all your questions and all your insights. But now I'm going to open the floor to the journalists. If you have any type of question, we're going to run question maybe for 15 minutes. So if you have a question, like yes.
Questions, but I have 3 points to make on this session that we've been having. Thank you, Honorable Minister and the organizers, Access and Music Africa. This is good for Rwanda, but first of all, we also need a workshop to big companies, like in Rwanda, these big companies having known music is a business. When you go to these big companies, they say, tell them, I'm an artist, they just look at you like, what do you want us to do for you? So I think you should also organize and teach them. Like we've seen Nigeria, you mentioned Tanzania, big companies, support the artists, so we don't have more artists endorsing these companies. And let's talk about, the Ben and Rosemary, a few of them have, but we have big talents that can be also make money from endorsing those big companies. But they also don't know that they can make money out of me, advertising for them, so we should organize that so that we can also make a little bit of money. And I think in Rwanda, thanks for Access Africa, but we still do music for fun, bro. You know, we're not professional yet. We do good music for fun, so that I can release a song. I tell the staff, Anita is my friend. She's gonna play my song. That's okay. Hey, my song is playing at Kiss FM. Oh wow, hey, it will be sitting on the list, and so yeah, we've had. What are you gaining? It's still on the same level. And that is worked for 4 or 5 years, but it's still on the same level. You know, when you come, you said music is a business. I think we need a proper workshop for 1 week, educate them. Let them come in these days, like they don't have the 4 P's: the price, product, place, and promotion. You know, your product is music. Good, do good music, as he said. Then good music. The place is Rwanda. If I can, satisfy my country, then what am I going to do to export my music? Promotion-wise, artists, you don't have a budget for promotion, though. You know, artists like Diamond, they have a promotion budget. I count already have this 1 million for this year to promote my album. But when the album comes out, it's fashion, how long will I be there? You know? So, what if you don't have friends that work with you? You understand? So, artists also need to know that it is music business. I need to do my music. If I can pay an audio 500,000, a video of 1 million, what do you expect? Free promotion. You need to put a budget on the side. This is
we can speak on that just for the interest of time. If you have like a specific question, but just to address what you said, Access is not the first time in November they're going to be there. In terms of workshop and preparation, we're working in partnership with Music in Africa and the Ministry to set up some sessions. Some of those one-man artists you're going to see on stage, they've been going through a workshop that we organized to prepare them to be able to apply. And we're preparing also some pre-workshop session before the event. Together musicians, we're going to have like 2 sessions of preparation. So we can speak more on that. You know, I invite you to come and see me a little later on. But if you have like a specific question, so we can go around the room.
As I said, I've asked a lot of questions. But let's get back to labels. You know, every artist would like to be under a certain music label, because labels have money, they have a lot of things. You know, so we have seen labels coming on and go. Just 1 year, 2 years. You know, label comes like the men. You know, check the late Jepoli, you know, rest in peace, Marina, Safi, and the likes. You know, so labels come in Rwanda, thinking to make money out of that before investing in them. You know, if you bring a label in Rwanda, don't you know we're going to give you this for 2 years, we invest in you. After 3 years, we're going to get back what we invested in. But labels come and, you know, they just exploit our musicians. When you cut, you know, like we cut ties with them, they limit you, they call media houses, don't play his music, and the fact, unless we put all our things together as Rwandans, which I'm all for, you know. Yeah, but still, if I leave a label and they still run after what I do, yeah, they even pay media houses not to play my songs because I left your label. You know, I left your label because I'm not seeing any vision in your label. Yeah, we've seen artists, when they leave labels, they're gone for good. So I think Access Rwanda, in those workshops, you also need to talk about that. You invite label, you know, CEOs, tell them the truth. Thank you so much.
Trust me. Tom, before you go, is there anybody else who want to make a statement rather than ask a question? So we're only gonna have question right now, right? Okay, good. Please.
Thank you. My name is Teikoni Dairo. I'm working for Misha Show. I'm a content creator and a TV presenter. I would like to start by thanking you guys for doing this. This is amazing because we've been waiting for this for so long. Our country is giving opportunities, and this is one of the opportunities that we're still receiving. And I will assure that you will gain a lot of stuff from Rwanda because we never regret working in this country, beautiful country. You're welcome. And I would like to start by saying our music group is developing. As you see, music is growing. You see some nominations at MTV, EMA, Europe, Diamond, Ashake, Taylor are being mentioned there. And I would like to ask.
Yeah, and who you address your question to?
My name is Providence Shadia Witonde from Rwanda Broadcasting Agency, RBA. And I would like to ask my question in Kinyarwanda, and it goes to the Ministry of Youth. Twashaka kubabaza kuko societe nyine nidusavinga n'abanyarwanda kose nabo bakeneye kumenya amakuru. Twashaka kubabaza abanyarwanda bazungukira gute muri iki gikorwa uko mwabiteguye nka Minisiteri ubufatanye n'abateguye igikorwa. Of course ni twavuga ko ari amahirwe yagutse ku banyarwanda bazungukira gute muri iki gikorwa, hanyuma hajya kuba selection y'abahanzi cyangwa se mujya guhitamo abahanzi mwagendeye ku kuko twibaza ko byanyuze mu bufatanye, hanyuma n'icyo musaba abagiye guhagararira igihugu muri aka kanya. Ikibazo cya kabiri turakibaza en costume, abanyarwanda tubitegeho iki nk'abantu mugiye guhagararira abandi bahanzi. Nakoze.
To say regarding workshops and just to respond to your statements, which also are very important, I think the music is a business and everyone has got their interests, and we want artists to be able to make informed decisions. We don't necessarily believe that record labels are the beginning and the end of the industry. I think you know that there is a big DIY industry. In fact, they say that record labels are starting to lose out the battle against the DIY artists who are doing it themselves. So we want local artists to have a stronger bargaining power. What does that mean? That means we're not only talking about discussing with record labels. Governments, I've seen that governments in African institutions, it's not that they don't want to give us money, but it's business. They want to secure their investments in us. So we are hoping that a more developed industry gives artists a stronger voice, to the extent where you can say, I don't want this rocketing deal because I can make the same money myself, right? But so what is very important is we need to empower the artists. The artists, there is no more time for that thing can determine your future if you don't sign on it. So a lot of artists don't even know about this thing. There is a thing called just notifying your song when you have done it. Just to say, I've done this song, it's called ABCD, and I'm the owner of this song. A lot of artists miss those simple things. And so when we come to Access, we curate it. And now if you go on the website now, you will see a series of workshops that you can already say, I want to be there, and it's all free. Then you asked about content and all those things. We are very open. Actually, Music in Africa, we run a website called musicinafrica.net. That is the biggest information portal for African music. And we are very, very, very open to engage. So please, let's talk afterwards and see what we can do. I think there's a lot of value in music, as you say. What do we see in music that we want to push? Our belief is just that music makes money. Whether it's good music, whether we can, it's a very opinionated space. Very, people might think this is great music, or this is bad music. But as long as it's consumed, you must make money out of it, and that's where it starts for us. We are not there also to judge, to say this country has got great music, because all we know is as Africans, music is the beginning for us. When we are sad, we sing music. When there is a death in the family, we sing. When we're at a wedding, we sing. And you can look at every facet of our country here, even in Rwanda. Music is in sports, music is on TV, music is in film, music is in everywhere. And this is why I take the opportunity to say for Access also, we might be talking straight to musicians, but we are inviting the whole creative economy.
Thank you. That was addressed to the Minister. There was a question about the selection, so maybe take a note. We're going to talk about how artists get selected. Please.
Murakoze, ahubwo ndumva byinshi RBA yamaze kubaza, hari ibyo ED yamaze gusubiza. Icyo navuga icya mbere ni kwakira inama imeze gutya, iri Pan-African. Ni n'amahirwe manini cyane ku bahanzi bacu hano mu Rwanda. Bivuze ko ntabwo turi kubwira abahanzi ngo niba ushaka kugira career cyangwa kumenyekana hanze y'u Rwanda ni wowe ukeneye kugenda ukajya gushaka ayo mahirwe. Aya mahirwe yaje mu Rwanda. So turasaba nyine abanyarwanda n'abahanzi kwitabira iyi nama, kwiyandikisha kuri platform, ndakeka ko biragenda bikomeza bihariya kuri screen. Bivuze ko iyandikisha ngwino mu nama urebe izi workshop barimo gutegura, umenye mbese wowe nk'umuhanzi n'icyo ukeneye ngo ugere ku rwego rukurikira ngo umenyekane, umenye n'ibintu wenda utaramenya neza ngo utere imbere kurushaho. Tumaze akanya turimo kuvuga ku bintu bijyanye n'amategeko. Abahanzi benshi uyu munsi hari abenshi batarumva neza iriya intellectual property law imaze gusohoka. Mbese niwafata umwanya ukiyandikisha, twabivuze mu kanya, nta kintu tugusaba cyo kwishura. Uraza mu nama, wicare, ufata amanote, wige nawe mbese IP law imfasha njyewe gute nk'umuhanzi ngo ntere imbere, menye kandi ko ni uburenganzira bwanjye gusaba umuntu ngo niba ajya gucuranga indirimbo yanjye agomba kunyishyura. the same way umuntu ugiye mu kazi nta muntu ukubwira ngo kora umunsi wose tuguhaye visibility mu biro taha oya, you can have visibility and be paid for it. So ikindi dushaka kuvuga ni nk'abanyarwanda bagiye kuza muri iyi nama bazi ko ni competition, sibyo? Nagaruri kuvuga ngo tuguhaye amahirwe kuza, ntabwo twakubwiye ngo bishyure amafaranga tugiye no kuguha kontra, oya, uje kwiyamamaza kugaragaza ko ngewe nka Eric uvuye mu Rwanda hari talent mfite kandi ndabizi ko hari abandi bantu bashoboye kuyishimira. So turashaka abantu baza bumva neza ko competition yo kunikora, ntabwo ari kuvuga ngo turashaka gusa kwa ko turi Kigali tuzaguha preferential treatment, oya, this is a competition, everybody has to come ready to fight, sibyo? Icyo ni cya kabiri nashaka kuvuga. Ibindi nashaka kugarukaho wenda Edi yamfasha neza muri selection. Twasabye nyine ko abahanzi batanga amakuru yabo kuri website ya registration, bakavuga nyine imyaka bamaze muri industry, bakanatanga nyine na za document bimeze en fait ku muntu ugiye gushaka akazi, bagusaba document igaragaza ubumenyi umaze kugira n'ikintu wifuza kugeraho. So urumva niba uje niko nabyita mu job interview utari prepared, executive umuntu wicarimo ushaka guha amahirwe nawe azonga ariko urabishaka nakubishaka. So turashaka biri ko abanyarwanda, abahanzi n'aba cultural managers cyangwa music managers bazaza nyine bari kumwe n'abazaza muri iyi conference ya Access bumve neza ko aya mahirwe yego government of Rwanda is putting the structure needed to organize this type of event, ariko tubategerejeho byinshi. Ndetse ko byumvikana neza. Nakoze
ntungaje ngo ese umunyarwanda azungukira he? I think hari ukuntu tutajya tubyumva neza. Umuhanzi w'umunyarwanda ageze kuri platforms nini muri Afrika cyangwa se ku isi hose akaba booked kuririmba ahantu kubera ko indirimbo ze bazumvise, akishyurwa $1,000 by'idolari. Ayo mafaranga ntabwo azaguma South Africa aho yagiye kuririmbira, azataha mu Rwanda akora ibikorwa bye by'umuziki mu Rwanda, afite team ahemba. Mujya mubimenya ko abahanzi iyo yakoze event ashobora kuba ahemba abantu benshi kuruta ministries nyinshi. Urugero, iyo Bruce cyangwa se Meddy afite igitaramo muri BK Arena yishyura $23 za venue, cyangwa Mboye ikipe ari gukoresha y'abantu 50, buri umwe wese aguye mu $500. That is a one-day event. Abo bantu 50 bose ari gukoresha we nka Mboye, hatarimo abakozi bo muri BK Arena 100, harimo aba cleaners, harimo security. Abo bantu bose bafite imiryango. You understand? So umuhanzi umwe atunga abantu barenze 500 kuri event y'umunsi umwe. Now imagine nimba umuhanzi akoze music video, indirimbo nziza, abonye connections, icuranzwe hirya no hino, abonye performances bari kumuhemba $50,000 by'idolari. Ayo mafaranga ntabwo azayarira Nigeria najya kuririmbayo, azataha mu Rwanda niho azakura ya budget. Wabazaga ngo ese kuki abahanzi batajya bagira budget? Nukubera ko batari kubona iyo exposure yo gukora ayo mafaranga menshi. Niba atajya gukora ayo mafaranga menshi ahagije afatika, azataha mu Rwanda ubone ngo Bruce Melody agiye gukora video $45,000 by'idolari. You understand? Kubera ko ari kuyinjiza. Urugero, I sat down with Diamond Platnumz ambwira urugero ukuntu yabonye his first collaboration with Davido, amwishyura $30,000 by'idolari, yishyura $25,000 bya video. Aho kubera ko yari yabonye hit ya generating ayo mafaranga, iyo revenue muri East Africa. Kuva yashora ayo mafaranga ayo yatangiye kwinjiza niyo menshi. None uko yatangiye kwinjiza amafaranga menshi ni nako nawe yatangiye gushora amafaranga iwabo muri Tanzania. Kubera iki? Yabonye igishoro kitangira kwinjiza amafaranga menshi, nayo noneho kubera ko yageze kuri standard runaka ntabwo agikora clip $2,000 by'idolari, ubu ngo akora video $25,000 kuzamuka by'idolari. So dukenera visibility, dukenera platforms nka Access kugira ngo batubone hanze y'u Rwanda, noneho natwe tubashe gukorera ayo mafaranga tuyagarure hano tuyazane mu gihugu. Yeah. So hari ukuntu baje ngo tubitege iki icyo ngicyo twiteze ko dukuramo ubumenyi tumenye uko twahanduringa business zacu mu muziki n'ukuntu twakora promotions hirya no hino kugira ngo natwe tubone iyo visibility natwe ntituzajya ducurangwa kuri Trace mu ndirimbo zo muri East Africa gusa abo ntibajya gukina indirimbo ya hit muri Africa tujye no kuri Trace Urban tujye no kuri MTV tujye kuri Sound City baturebe muri Mexico baturebe no mu Bwongereza aho niho tuzakura ayo mafaranga menshi nicyo twiteze gukura muri Access muri Music in Africa n'izi workshops nibwo ubumenyi dukeneye kuvoma kugira ngo tubukoreshe dutangiye twigize amafaranga.
Urakoze Austin.
Babu Amen Rugemana ndi umunyamakuru wa Isibo TV. Ushaka kubaza Minister mujya mugerageza kumenya umusaruro w'inama nyinshi muzana mu Rwanda mukaba mwawugira mu buryo bufatika mukamenya icyo bisiga kubera ko tubona inama nyinshi cyane zibera hano zikomeye ariko babaza abahanzi babaye part of it abakubwira yuko uretse kuba yarishyuye kugira ngo aririmbe ariko nta kindi byamumariye uretse kuba abantu babaje mu nama bakicara bakarya bakumva mujya mugerageza kumenya umusaruro bigirira abahanzi cyangwa mubazanira ibintu birenze ubushobozi bwabo ku buryo birangirira aho ngaho bikarangira abahanzi benshi ntabwo bazi icyongereza usanga ibyinshi bamwe mu cyongereza ntibanabyumve so mugerageza gute kumenya nimba umusaruro w'ibyo mushaka kugeraho ku bahanzi ariko uzakungana murakoze
baba bafite iyo mibare kuvuga ngo inama yose ije mu Rwanda haje abantu bangahe bivuze ngo ni bangahe bishyuriye hotel ni bangahe bishyuriye ibijyanye na transport ni bangahe bagiye wenda muri restaurant ni bangahe wenda bitabiriye ibitaramo ibyo byose urabishyira ku murongo ukamenya umubare for every event iba yabaye aho ngaho wenda tugarutse ku kibazo cy'abahanzi yego twebwe nka government dushinzwe kureba ko uburenganzira bijyanye n'amategeko bwubahirizwa ariko nk'umuhanzi ntube passive sinzi ko nayo ukundi ukenewe kugerageza kumenya amakuru mbese ko ejo bundi hari itegeko yasohotse mu ndimi 3 wafata akanya gato ukicara ukayisoma ukamenya mbese hano biravuga iki ni iki kizamfasha ngiye gutera imbere nkabona ukuntu nshobora kubona amafaranga kuri ibihangano byose bafite niba mbese ngiye mu nama ni gute wenda njyana n'umuntu ushobora kumfasha gukora negotiation ngo abantu bataza kumbwira none ngo ngwino uririmbire ubuntu kubera ko tuguhaye visibility ibi rwose tubice as a mindset visibility ntabwo bivuze ko ntabwo dushobora kukwishyura nkuko nabivuze mu kanya twese dufite akazi nta muntu urakubwira ngo waje mu biro tuguhaye visibility ntabwo tuza kukwishyura hari label ivuga ngo umuntu wese wakoze akazi kandi ubuhanzi nabwo ni akazi you deserve to be paid so abo bahanzi turimo kwakira nyine bazaza mu inama ikintu natwe tugomba kugerageza gushyiramo imbaraga no gukorera ubuvugizi ni kugira izi copyright friendly event ivuga ngo ikintu cyose nyine kizatambuka hazaba hari revenue collection ijyanye nayo ngo umuhanzi abone amafaranga ku indirimbo yatambutse wenda turi mu nama byaba nabo bategereje hari ukuntu haba hari music playing niba ugiye muri restaurant haba hari indirimbo nawe urimo kumva nshaka kuvuga ko ibi byose ntabwo ari ibintu byaba biri bishyashya cyane kuko mu bindi bihugu byose mu byinshi byo ku isi bagira iyo system ya revenue collection ijyanye n'ahantu abantu barimo gucuranga indirimbo zabo so reka tuvuge niba turi muri Kigali Convention Center ni venue nini cyane yakira ibihumbi n'ibihumbi ku munsi umwe ubwo revenue collection yabo izaba iri hejuru uyigeranyije bona n'indi hotel ifite wenda ibyumbi 100 gusa so abo bose turimo turavuga ngo nk'abahanzi nihe mwakura ubumenyi nkuko Austin bivuze mu kanya ngwino uvoma ubumenyi tuzadufite za workshop tuzadufite abantu nyine bafite expertise bamaze imyaka bamaze guhura n'ibibazo byinshi cyane ushobora kwigiraho aho rwose icyo turimo gusaba abanyarwanda atari kuvuga gusa abahanzi ariko industry yose ijyanye n'ubuhanzi twayivuze mu kanya hari security hari abantu bazana ibintu byo kunywa ibyo kurya hari abambika the fashion hari the content creator uzo gafilma akavuga ko uyu munsi habaye inama akabishyira kuri platform ye abo bantu bose bazitabira inama bumve mbese ni gute umuntu yunguka kurushaho niba dufite ibindi bihugu ndetse wenda turebye wenda ibihugu mu Bufaransa bamaze gushyiraho system iri systematic ahantu hose habaye indirimbo iri gucuranga hari amafaranga umuntu aba arimo kubona so iyo system nibi izwi niba tuzi ko hari ibyo nakwita best practices zakozwe mu bindi bihugu kandi nanone bitavuga ngo umuntu wese aza yishyura ibihumbi 100 ku ndirimbo imwe. No, there's a fee. Hari ukuntu abantu babibara bijyanye na ahantu mugiye gukorera, abantu bahitabira na level of visibility y'aho hantu. So hari lesson learned ushobora gukura mu bindi bihugu, ariko turasaba none abantu hano bari muri iyi industry kugerageza nabo kuba more educated about the industry. Niba uri muri business umuntu akaza akakugira amakuru atariyo, wenda ushobora kuvuga ngo okay, he abused my lack of knowledge, bibaye rimwe kabiri gatatu. At one point wumva nawe gufata responsibility ukanga ariko ko amakuru hari kuri platform zose njye naburijwe n'iki kujya gusoma nkamenya ko ibi ngibi bitemewe, ukananga ahubwo mukanakorana hagati yanyu. Niho n'ikintu tutakunda kugira ni association of artists. Yego hari Rwanda Art Council, hari Music Federation, ariko hagati y'abahanzi ni bangahe bavuga ngo ibi ngibi tugiye kubyanga, tugiye kwishyira hamwe tuvuge ngo no, this is the minimum, nta muntu uzongera kwemera gukora ibi ngibi on these conditions, bikaba rule nta kundi. So I think ho ngaho twebwe nka government dufite responsibility kwakira inama tukareba ko it's the best conditions possible, ariko n'abahanzi you have to meet us halfway. Media has to meet us halfway ngo ngo industry iguruke. Thank you.
Do you have other questions? So maybe while we're getting the microphone there, we'd like to push forward the idea that the conference at the Kigali Convention Center from 9 to 5 a.m., as he said, Music in Africa Foundation is an NGO. They don't come here to make money. The entrance is free at the convention center to have 4 to 7 session conference of professionals all through the day. So all those questions will be answered by professionals. It's free to enter. You just need to go to musicinafrica.net and to register. As a Rwandan, there's even a quick form. You don't need to fill, I know sometimes people when they go on the internet, they just like, it's a bit tiring to go to all those forms. They're asking too much question and you just kind of like, step back a little bit. This one, there's a quick form for people who just want to put their name and get their tickets. So go to the website musicinafrica.net and take full advantage of expert professionals from Africa and the world who are coming to talk and to educate. So a lot of your questions will be answered by people who have a perspective on music, who have a perspective on business, who have made some artists rich, who have made company rich. They're going to be there. So a lot of the questions will be answered there. I really encourage you to go to the conference, not only focusing on the showcases. There was a question, so yes, please.
Yeah, because you said you go and you do sessions with musicians, artists, then you tell them you should do this, to earn money, you should do this, to know your IP, you should do this. You guys go back and follow up and see actually, is this working? Or you just come and do sessions and you go. Then another one goes to Austin. You have been in the industry for years now. Do even artists understand that having a team is essential to them when you come back to Rwanda? Like you said, you sat down with Diamond Platnumz. You know Diamond Platnumz, what he does, going there and think what he's going to create, and he has that team. But here, you find an artist like Austin is an example. He's having a team maybe for Andrew, because Andrew is a friend, he works on the radio. Then after like few days, they separate. Then you now start hearing some things that are not good. You guys, apart from the meetings and the sessions that come here in Rwanda, the government calls you, do this, you're supposed to do this. Do you guys see it like, we should do this as a business? You have been there, right now you're an artist, sitting in here for the artists, all artists. How do you guys plan to use this meeting so that next time if you come back here, you're going to tell us, you see, this meeting, did this and this to our industry. Thank you.
Yes, there's a big monitoring and evaluation process that we have at the Music in Africa Foundation, generally across our projects. And we've seen amazing success with Access since we've started it. Our artists have been booked left, right, and center. Artists have done international collaborations. Companies have been created. In Ghana, for example, when we went there, there was a whole delegation coming from Germany, South Africa, and some of them ended up creating local companies, employing people. And again, like we are saying, our role is to curate the best event that we can. We want to challenge artists to take advantage of this. Like you said, it's not a one-man army. We focus on bringing the most professional, most inclusive, most relevant event, and we will do our own processes to make sure we check also the financial contributions of the event to the local industry. We check also how the local industry feels about the event, the artists who get it through our systems. As I'm speaking now, we have a training program for girls, and I think we've got 6 Rwandan girls. It's a music business course that they take, and a production course as well. In almost all the years, these girls end up also going to other countries on paid jobs and opportunities for them to work in the music industry, at distribution companies, at festivals. So it's a lot of work that I don't think we can even quantify. In most cases, you don't see the results immediately. Sometimes you hear after Access, so-and-so was signed. But then after 3 years, you hear, this company is now opening an office there. So Access is a movement, and there's a lot of intangible value as well that you cannot see even with your eyes when you're there. So we challenge artists not always to say, okay, I want to be in the program, I want to just be sitting in every workshop. If the workshop is not working for you, try to see other things, and that's why the event is so broad. You know, when you are at KCC, you'll see there will be tables and meeting rooms, so you don't have to just do what everyone is doing. Do what works for you, because it's a marketplace. And some people I see, even the guys coming in from international places, they will not go every day to the workshop. They will have a meeting with Candy, they will, so it's an opportunity, it's a business place. And some of those things we can't even track. But the commitment that you see with these guys coming to Access, and this, I have to be also honest, Access does not pay for all those professionals. They come on their own. And generally you would know business people, they would not come to this event if it was not valuable to them. So those are some of the things that by the just the fact that you see Access has got such a strong profile of people, it means over the years we've built our reputation. And I think this reputation goes beyond Access. It goes into music in Africa. And this is like the backbone of our work. So also by coming to Access, you're joining some of the people already work with us. And you see at Access, it's a very dynamic, diverse team. We are looking at also having young people working with us, maybe learning a few things about how to do an event such as Access. What systems do we use? How do we do the ticketing systems? And we are also open to learn, and that's why, as Eric says, although the event starts on the 14th November, we are here already on the 9th of November with the first sessions starting there with different groups and doing different things. So it's really a lot of things that we are doing, and Access is like really the icing on top, where you get to see some of the the highlights of the event. But it's a movement, and that's why I come here. And now we've got our office at Mundi Center, where we already have a local team that is led by Eric, of course, and we are building a local team, and we're going to be working with local suppliers so that the ecosystem really feels like they're part of the event.
I think to answer it in the best way is, you would find that in a university, 30 students have gone into law school, a law class, but maybe 10 have made it to the bar. You will find that 50 have gone to a medical school. Others are nurses, others are doctors, others are specialists in particular programs. It's the same as music. I would actually love to appreciate a few artists that learned and started also putting it into action, having teams. It means we have artists that actually have teams now. I would give you examples of a few that I know. I know Juno, I know Prost Melody, I know The Ben, I know Ariel Ways. It necessarily doesn't have to work 100% perfectly, but they do have teams. So these are the sessions we come, we learn. Some decide to pass, others decide to fail miserably. Yes. I would tell you that personally, I'd never had a team as an artist. I'm not going to lie to you. Until recently, when I was like, so I think they need to start a record label that is working professionally and seriously. That's when I started actually sporting and scouting for my team. So we do these things and make decisions personally. It's not because of the industry overall. So as an individual decides to go to a seminar, to a conference, pick up things and decide to learn, and when they go back, they decide to actually say, let me work on this because I learned it. So I appreciate the few artists that have actually come and learned, and I'm hoping for the best in these conferences that we're actually going to have. I'm hoping that in this, other artists will actually pick 1 or 2 or 3 leaves and then go back and then act on them, and then by next year or 2 years, we'll actually have a better industry. Yeah.
Recognition to the Honorable Minister. It's a pleasure. Mr. Eric, Mr. Eddie, Access, and to you, Uncle Austin. I'm a big fan. And to all the journalists and family, how are you guys? You okay? My first question would definitely be going to Mr. Eddie. But I believe that you answered it before, unless you're going to shed some more light. Is that after the 15th and 16th of November, are we, the creatives and content creators and the whole sector of creativity, going to have access to Access? Or is it going to be one-time thing and then after a couple of years you come back? Or are we going to have direct access to you? Yeah, that is towards you. And to the Honorable Minister, how confident is the sector, the government and the ministry? Are we ready as brand creators and creatives? Because I feel the merger with the ministry and the creatives to access a platform like this, do you feel, based on your analysis, are we ready? Are we really ready for the merger? Are we up for the challenge? Or is it a test? Thank you so much.
My first question goes to Honorable Minister Sandrine. Will it be possible to execute that law of copyright? Is it hard? Will it be easy for you? Because it's been there for years, and it needs I don't think that it will be an easy thing to do. And how are you planning to do it? And how long will it take? My second question, it's not a question, by the way. It's a simple, humble request to you, Eddie. And now that you know that we have artists that are able to perform to international stages, please, once you get other opportunities from your country or other countries, please let us know or give those that chance to our artists. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm called Jay Momera. I'm from the Choice Live on Isibo TV, and I would like to ask my question in Kinyarwanda. My question goes to Honorable Minister. Nyakubahwa Minister, niba numvishe neza, ikibazo cya copyright bisa nkaho ari ibintu byatangiye mu myaka myinshi ishize turwana urugamba rwa Rwandan Music First. Twahuye n'intambara nyinshi ngira ngo bamwe mu bari hano nkaba Kategistave nkaba MCT no baraza kubyumva cyane nimbivuga. Hajemo abantu basa nk'abashoramari bashaka kwishyura ibitangazamakuru kugira ngo ibitangazamakuru bijye byishyura bijye bikina indirimbo bo bazanye. Bivuze ngo icyo gihe ntago umuhanzi nyarwanda yari agifite access ku gitangazamakuru icyo cyose gishobora kumukina, nubwo nabyo byajemo ibibazo, ariko mu mazina menshi nizegera ngo bari kubyumva barabizi ibyo bintu. Kugeza uyu munsi turacyafite ikibazo nanone mu bahanzi. Hano hari aba DJ nanone, aho umuhanzi yumva ko umu DJ ari buze kudija muri event runaka nyine, umuhanzi atari buze guperformingamo, ariko akaza kwishyura uwo mu DJ cyangwa undi muntu uri buze kugira access muri icyo gitaramo kugira ngo aze gukinamo indirimbo ye. Ibyo bintu muraza kubihuza gute no kuba indirimbo y'umuhanzi izagikoreshwa muri hoteli runaka, muri event runaka ikishyurwa, mu gihe tugifite abahanzi bafite imyumvire yo kumva ko ahantu hateraniye abantu benshi ari amahirwe abonye nubwo atari performing, ariko umuntu uri bugira access aho ngaho yagakwiye gukina indirimbo y'abo bantu bakayumva. Ni ikibazo gikomeye tugifite. Ngira ngo niba nibuka neza mu minsi ishize nabwo habaye ikibazo aho ni Cecile Kayirebwa yagiranye ikibazo n'ikigo cy'igihugu cy'itangazamakuru RBA akijyana mu nkiko kugira ngo hari n'amafaranga baciye ikigo cy'igihugu bijyanye no gukina ibihangano bye. Uyu munsi biragoye kugira ngo wumve igitangazamakuru gikina indirimbo za Cecile Kayirebwa. So turaza kubihuza gute noneho na societe nyarwanda n'imyumvire y'abo bahanzi kimeze gutyo no kugira ngo abanyarwanda baccessinga umuziki nkuko bari basanzwe bawaccessinga. Ese murabona atari urugendo rurerure cyangwa bizasaba imbaraga zidasanzwe kugira ngo ubwo bukangurambaga bwumvikane? Niba bishoboka nyakubahwa Minister, mwaba mwarabihaye igihe kingana iki? Murakoze.
Thank you. I think we're going to start with the Kinyarwanda version, and then we're going to conclude with you, and then we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to have the last words, and then we're going to wrap it up. Honorable Minister.
Murakoze. So ikintu cyambere nashaka kuvuga izi copyrights nagari bwa mbere zije mu Rwanda uko umaze kubivuga. Amategeko asanzwe ahari, ahubwo wenda hari ikibazo ni muri implementation. Bivuze ko hano turi kumwe na media houses zitandukanye. As a policy maker, twebwe tushiraho steps zikenewe kuko habe nyine amategeko akagera muri parlement akemezwa zigasohoka zikaba official. So aho ngaho natwe dushobora kubaza mbese niba mukora muri media houses mubyumva gute? Igihe tuvuze ko umuntu agomba kwishyura certain fee ngo umuntu acuranga indirimbo y'umuhanzi, mbese igihe media house yanze kubikora, so igihe haje itegeko ijyanye n'ibintu na exploitation ya music cyangwa n'ibindi bihangano bitandukanye, niki kibuza media house kubyubahiriza? Sibyo ikintu nabaza wenda nk'aba executive ba media houses, iri tegeko murayizi, mufite legal team, so igihe bahisemo, ntabwo ari kuvuga ko bose babikora by the way, ni bamwe na bamwe, abo ngabo bahisemo kurenga ku itegeko baba batekereza iki? Abazi ko ntabwo tuzaza gukora enforcement, cyangwa bazi ko wenda bakoze indi agreement cyangwa arrangement hagati ye n'uwo muhanzi. Iyo nashaka kuvuga ko ari imyumvire ituma industry yacu itatera imbere nk'uko byaba bikwiye. Bivuze ko twebwe nka government n'aba partners media uko dukeneye gukora akazi gakomeye ka mindset na education, kavuga ngo mbese niba tuvuze ko hari system ihari, hari amategeko hari, kuki abantu batayubahirizwa? Ni kubera ko wenda mbese badafite ubushobozi bwo kubikora, ubwo wenda ngo twaba twinjiye muri mu kuntu media nabo babona amafaranga kuko bishyura ukeneye ko ufite revenue collection. So urumva nice nyiri ndende cyane kumenya umuntu wanze aba afite impamvu niba ari economic ni gute tubikemura, niba ari ikibazo cya mindset tukomeza kukwigisha, ariko tukagira aha tuvuga ngo ufite ubushobozi wanze kubikora, ubwo hashobora kuba na penalty kubera kwanga nyine kubahiriza amategeko. Wenda aho ngaho bihuye n'ikibazo cya Anita wabazaga kuri realistically bizafata igihe kingana gute ngo iyi copyright ibe implemented. Ubundi mu mategeko igihe itegeko risohotse, it's as of today. Nakubwira ngo tujye kuguha amezi 3 ngo ubyumve neza, oya, nul n'est censé ignorer la loi, you're supposed to implement it. So hano dufite akazi gakomeye gukorana n'abafatanyabikorwa batandukanye, harimo media, harimo abahanzi, harimo n'ibigo nyine bifite like hotel, restaurants, abantu baba bafite ahantu bacuranga muzika umunsi wose, ngo twumvikane neza once and for all niba itegeko rihari n'iki kikubuza kuyubahirizwa. Aho ngaho dukeneye nanone na education ijyanye n'abahanzi, nabo bakumva mbese kuki nemera ko bigenda gutya, ni kwa ko numva ko nta choice mfite, kandi igihe cyose umuntu avuga ngo nta choice mfite, wowe nk'umuntu umwe you don't change the world. Yeah, that's my opinion. Ugomba gukorana n'abandi bantu. So ni gute mwishyira hamwe hagati y'abahanzi mukavuga ngo wenda ntabwo zemeza ibintu byose mu mwaka umwe, kuko byose bisaba ko umuntu ahindura imyumvire, ariko tukavuga ko wenda ari ibi 3 tuzasaba ko biba implemented uyu mwaka, twese tukabyumvikaniraho tukabyinjiranamo nyine as collective body, kubera ko in the long term icyo kizafasha industry ngo abaza bakurikira batazisanga turi hano mu cyumba turimo kwibaza mbese copyright tuzayubahiriza ryari. Ko mu izindi industry umuntu wakoze invention ahita ashyira patent ikandi bakayandika muri RDB cyangwa mu kindi kigo, umuntu akaba azi ko iyi patent ni ya Eric, ugiye kuyikoresha ugomba kwishyura. It should be the same logic. So ahangaha nanone njye n'uvantu urugendo tugomba kujyanamo twese kubera ko niba twebwe as policy level na media turi kubyumva kimwe, hagaze umuhanzi uvuga ngo oya nta kibazo mukomeze gucuranga indirimbo zanjye ku buntu kubera ko ndashaka visibility, ntabwo badufashije. So dukeneye nanone kuri education, mindset change, ariko njye ndumva byinshi biri muri education. Umuntu agomba kumva neza azakuramo iki, epi natwe kuri policy level tukumva neza is it possible ko hari akantu tutumvise neza wenda kajyanye na economic empowerment, wenda gatuma umuntu adashobora nyine kwishyura uko turimo kubimusaba. And if that's the case, ni iyihe fee twajya dushyiraho ifasha umuntu ufite ubushobozi buke, maybe your company ngo yubahirize at the one level. Ibi byose biba biteganyijwe ubundi muri system. Ndumva ari gutyo twagerageza kubisubiza. None ikindi nashobora no kuvuga ni ko ntabwo twakwirengagiza ko no mu bindi bihugu twavuga ko byateye imbere mu bijyanye n'ubuhanzi, nabo bagira utuntu dasobanutse. Ubona abahanzi bajya kureba radio houses bakavuga ngo uriya muhanzi ubu muretse gato ushyiremo ibyanjye gusa. So ibyo bintu biri across the board, ariko nibyo nakwita ni malpractice muri business. None tugarutse kuri point ko music is a business. So the same, hari abantu bagira corruption mu mirimo itandukanye, hari na corruption iba mu buhanzi, iba muri music industry, ariko nanone those are not the norm. Nagari abantu bose babikora, ni bamwe na bamwe, and abo bantu bakomeza kubikora kubera ko abantu bahitamo kwirengagiza and they don't address it. So navuga nanone ko if we take the law seriously, tukavuga ko umuntu wese agomba kuba azi amategeko. Aba partners bakeneye nabo kubahiriza amategeko, n'abahanzi bakeneye kumva ko amategeko ahari to defend them, to defend their rights. Nabo bafitemo an interest wo kureka kwemera ibintu bitari sustainable, niko njye nabisobanura. When if I can go ahead and respond to the other question in English. Are we ready? Yes. Rwanda is more than ready for this type of activities. Our artists, for the many that we've been meeting since we received the arts in our ministry since December of last year, you can tell the artists want more. They are ready, they are asking for it. And I want to say that for the ones who are not ready, that's part of, like Uncle Austin had mentioned before, everybody can go to the class and some will choose to excel, others will be like, maybe this is not the time for me, and they will move back. I believe the majority, they are ready. All they've been asking this whole time is give us the chance to prove you that we are ready, and we are going to hold them accountable. For the government of Rwanda to receive this type of initiative or conferences, and then people turn around bakabichamazi, you're hurting your chances. Twe tuzakomeza n'abantu bashobora gutera imbere, abo barahari. Ariko umuntu wenda wabisuzuguye cyangwa wumva ko they take it for granted, those people, that's the business. But we are focusing on the ones who are ready. I don't know if I've got anything else.
No, that's fine. The next word, thank you, Honorable Minister. There's a very, very strong focus, the thing that I've been saying, Kenya, there's a very, very strong focus on the copyright and how serious the government is into what they're doing. You know, people are concerned that it's going to be a one-off. And also, in terms of the copyright, there's a big emphasis on the copyright to know that, you know, it's actually serious, there's something that can get out of it. That's one of the two takes, but you know, the floor is yours to conclude.
Yes, thank you. The sustainability of this, and I think you will see that music in Africa is not a helicopter kind of, we don't have that approach. I think here we've funded about 10 organizations to actually do projects. So before Access, there's a long history of us actually wanting to work here. I mean, Eric, we met with Eric for the past 10 years. I think in 2018, there was a small delegation that actually came to Access to start to explore, and I think we've been trying to say, okay, we want to come to Rwanda. And the organization that I represent, we have got a strong Pan-African ethos. No matter where we go, and as you will see, last year we were in Tanzania, and this year we actually have a strong delegation coming from Tanzania. Even they're driving a bus, they're putting together a bus to come here. Because that's also important, right? You want to continue being part of the network. And this is exactly the plans we have. And personally, what I want to see now when we go into November, there are some things that we've set. So there's a songwriting camp for the producers in the room, artists, they know what happens. It's essentially you put artists in like a space for like 4 days. They're just creating songs from morning till late at night. So we've got some of the biggest artists who've been making records with the AKAs, with, you know, they're coming here, and we're working with the 5th Season, which is a big South African artist, agents, and we're working with Universal Music Publishing. So they come here, they just put artists to say, okay, let's start there, create songs. And they're gonna push the songs, because collaboration, again, is very important. You've seen how even artists pay lots of money to collaborate with known names. So for me, I just also want immediately after Access, actually they're going to create what we call the Access theme songs. It's the first time we're doing that, but they are aiming to create 20 songs. I want to see Rwandan talent thriving and really rising up from Access. I am really pushing all our partners to say, please come to Rwanda, but you have to make a commitment to book local talent. So next year we've got a lot of festivals, and I think we want to see at least 20 artists immediately getting into the festival circuit. You know, I think we need just to put a challenge, you know, we're putting a challenge on ourselves to say, let's see some of the immediate things that we can come back to the Honorable Minister and say, look, this is what we had, and let's build from there. But as you can see, as Uncle Austin says, we need artists to put their best foot forward. That means coming to us and really pushing, you know. You need to really look at this as a business opportunity, and we are very welcome and open to all those things. So thank you all for the time. I think this was very interesting also for me to just understand also how copyright is very important and how government is really trying to engage and to make this a success, and would be honored to play a role in seeing the success of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Before we conclude, we're going to let you know, because we can feel a lot of passion, but this is the first press conference about the event Access. So 10 days before the event, we will call you again. At this time, you know, it will be at the venue. We'll have like a venue tour. There will be some of the artists who are involved into the event that's going to be there. There's going to be more kind of like more room for discussion. Also, to answer the question that I heard many times about the one-off, about, you know, booking more artists, Music in Africa Foundation, as he said, is a platform for all the resources about artists. So if you go to musicinafrica.com, and if you register yourself, if you're a musician, if you know some musician, we encourage you to register there. It's like you register to Facebook, it's like you register to Instagram. Put your pictures there, put your biography in, and all the links to your material. Whether it's a music video, whether it's your SoundCloud account, whether it's your Spotify account, and then anybody who goes on the platform, they can find you. It's very practical. You can go and click all the DJ from Rwanda and they will all pop up. All the producers from Rwanda, they will all pop up. If you're looking for like a venue owner in Ghana, you just press Ghana, there's those filters, and you can find out who they are. There's a few of the Rwandan artists already there, but I was there just like recently, and I noticed that some of our top artists, some of the most ambitious artists here in Rwanda, most successful artists, are not even on the platform. So when they say we need to meet halfway, that's what they mean. Don't wait for things to come to you, because you need to make the step. So we're doing everything we can. There's going to be a second workshop, a second press conference by the end of the month. There's going to be 2 preparation workshops also, where we can welcome up to 100 people. We're going to give you the details soon. We have an office at the Mundi Center with the permanence, with Letizia and Michaela. We are there every day to discuss, to forward information. We have all your details right now. So what we're going to do, Letizia take some note, Michaela take some note, that we're going to just send them like a fiche with like links to all the resources where they can find information, where they can register, you know, to help them out. So this is what's going to happen. What we're going to do right now, I think it's a little photo opportunity. We're going to take the time to take the pictures and maybe get some help to move the table.